so not a lot of souls are available. So I'm just going to talk about the the occult meaning of trolling and why it exists. Now, this channel is really every channel is susceptible to trolling, but mostly this channel because this channel I talk a lot about real things, right? When you're talking about like if you look at the other videos where I talk about Dragon Ball Z or about like basketball or video games or bullshit like that, you don't get as many trolls because they're not. That's what they want to see in this realm, bullshit, which is fine, really. I don't mind it, but whenever you talk about something like this or like I just made a video about witch hunting, you're gonna get all the trolls out because that excites them. It excites them because their only job is to hunt people, literally, that have some awareness or light and trying to diminish it by saying bullshit, asking dumb questions. Because usually, most of the people that talk about or try to talk about stuff like this don't know how to handle things like this. But because I'm indoctrinated in the science, it's not like I'm special. Anybody could do this, but like because I could see through the BS, it's really interesting because it really has no effect on me. But it's just amazing how they still try because they're not actually doing it out of their own accord. They're being programmed by somebody else to troll. All the trolls have somebody either consciously or subconsciously telling them what to do. Like for example, the N word. A lot of people want to see a black man and they automatically say nigger or whatever like this, without checking the person's background to see if they actually care about this word or not. Like me, for example, I don't give a fuck about if somebody white or blue or yellow calls me the N word because I didn't grow up in America, so I don't have any emotional attachment to this. And trolls like to utilize something that you're emotionally attached to and just blur it out because it's in their conscious, in their subconscious to say it. Sometimes I feel like they just wake up and yet used to say shit that they've been programmed. They're like robots. But in another plane of existence, aka the astral, they know what they're doing. Their shadows already been being known. They've been known. They already been because every time that people go to sleep, they go in the astral. Their shadow goes in the astral. Somebody takes them and instructs them on what to do, and the shadow has its own consciousness. But usually it's separated from your consciousness because we've been taught not to integrate our shadows. We've been taught that to repress. Oh, don't be mad. Don't be angry. So whenever you repress those feelings, it just grows distorted, and it comes out when you do drugs and shit like that. What's up? How's it going? This live, I was just talking about trolling. I don't know if you heard the beginning. How's it going? Damn, 23 people. Michael Jordan. Mikey Jordan. How's it going? Do you see? I don't understand this shit. This shit, it said like 0 people, not 23. But, anyways, if you guys didn't hear, I was talking about the occult meaning of trolling. Okay, I need to put this nigga in a timeout. Why this mother? You see, this is a troll right here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. They come out with this bullshit shit. This is the second time people have said this today. The poop thing. This is a troll. So they have no conscious on the physical. But because they said this subconsciously, they're being programmed to say this in my channel. Because this is like, they always say some shit like I poop myself or some bullshit like that. So I gotta block that word. Anyways. And they think they're clever. Like they're trying to get, like you say, you put LOL, right? That's what they want. They want people to laugh because when we laugh, we show that our consciousness is asleep, right? They say some random shit to make people laugh, but they know what they're doing in another plane of existence. They're lowering our consciousness. That's the whole point of trolling. The whole point of trolling is to see who's awake and who is asleep. You see how I just ignore that shit? Zombie walking. Have a good one. A good what? Anyways, but yeah, that's basically the job of a troll. I don't know if you are familiar with like the myth of trolls. It's like basically you will be walking a path And a troll will be like, "Oh, say this riddle. I'm gonna say a riddle, and if you can answer the riddle, you can pass." No, they're trying to confuse you. You know, you could just go through them. Fuck them. If you have awareness, you just go through them. But if you don't know what you're doing, you might be like, "Oh, this person is telling me I have to answer this shit." No, you don't have to answer shit. You own the universe. Everything in the universe is yours. Once you operate from the mind of this, so there's nobody that should tell you like, oh, and the reason I'm telling you this is because once you start going into the higher planes that are not physical, you're gonna be tested by these random people that are gonna be like guides. People like to talk, oh, I have guides. No, you have motherfuckers that are keeping your consciousness low. There's no guides in the universe. They're trying to extract information or energy from you, and because you have a low awareness, you don't understand that. So a troll, a guide, or that you're gonna have these archetypes of people coming when you start to awake and grow in consciousness, and they're trying to test your conscious level. Sometimes they're not even mean, like it's not like a malicious thing. But a lot of them, what's up? How's it going? See some people reacting and shit. We're just talking about the occult meaning of trolling. Wait, that's the title, right? I forgot exactly what I was. Something about the occult meaning of trolling. All of this related spiritually. And this is what my channel is about. If you don't know, I know I talk, I don't know, my channel is like not clear cut, but I usually just talk about esoteric things and spiritual meanings of stuff. Even though I, like, my last couple videos were like about Dragon Ball Z, bye, have a great day. Okay. Yeah, my day is always, there's no such thing as a bad day. The day is what you make it. Anyways, back to the thing. I'm gonna keep this short. Anybody have any questions? No, nobody's here? Okay, I'm gonna just continue talking bullshit. As you know, I love hearing myself talk because I'm a narcissist. But no, I'm just talking to see who's gonna be attached to what I'm saying. Back to the thing, occult meaning of trolling. So yeah, the trolls are just there to test your conscience level. And a lot of them are actually, I don't want to say that they're masters, so you think, oh wait, I found a master. But some of them are masquerading as trolls to test your awareness. But don't think everybody's testing your awareness when you get to these levels. Sometimes they're just trying to fuck with you. But you can always, you don't have to ignore it. You can always extract information and use it for your advantage from whoever. Just take it with a grain of salt. And the reason why they say take a grain of salt is because salt is used to purify things. That's why they say, oh, take it with a grain of salt. You could take it literally and say, oh, let me put a grain of salt in this. But basically, what they're saying is like purify the bullshit that they're saying. That's what take it with a grain of salt because salt, in its physical form, right, the table salt is it's a crystal, right? And that crystal represents I forget exactly. It's like the earth element. What's up? Hi. How's it going? Everything is about the elements. So the earth element is if you need to utilize the earth element for anything to balance yourself, the salt is good for that. The salt is going to balance you out. Say sulfur is the fire element, and I forget the other ones. Yeah. How's it going? Anybody else here? There's like two people. Not a lot of them. It's because I'm boring today. I don't have the same energy I usually have because it's nighttime. But yeah, the other live I made was about witch hunting, and then I caught a lot of witches in that live, and then I said, you know what? Let me talk about trolling because witches and hunting. I mean, witches and hunting, trolling and witches is kind of like the same thing. But I was explaining in the other one, the witches are just people that could travel. It's like not all of them are bad. Some of them are good. Some of them are. Most of them are bad because we have been associated to thinking that everybody that does it is bad. Because most of the people that do it, they do it for bad intentions. But it's like saying like everybody that rides a motorcycle is bad, or is in a gang or a motorcycle gang. No, that's just a tool that they use to travel. That's what witches do. They travel to dreams and shit like that, And trolls travel to fucking talking bullshit all the time. That's very much what they're doing right there. All right, 10 minutes in. I'm gonna stay for 5 minutes. Let's see if anybody joins. If not, I'm gonna just cut this shit short. Because I know niggas are probably sleeping right now. Gotta go to work and go to school and shit. And even the trolls are getting some shut eye, some much needed rest because they gotta wake up in the morning and and think about all the shit that they gotta comment on videos tomorrow. What's up? Yeah, well, because I accidentally deleted the live that I made the last couple days. I decided to make other ones because I didn't want to come in again. I feel like the more lives you do, the worse it is for YouTube. Even though people say, "Oh, you gotta be consistent." No, there's no such thing. The consistency is that you consistently come in at some point, but you don't have to come every day and live stream at the same time. I mean, at least I don't believe in it. I like to do it when I feel like it, when I have something to talk to, because I'm gonna talk regardless. If I just put myself all the time at a specific time, I'm just forcing myself to do something, and that's not gonna work energetically sometimes. Say, I'm back. Okay, good for you. You want me to throw a party for you? Hey, he's back. Oh shit. Welcome. I'm sorry. I'm a fucking asshole sometimes. That's why nobody likes me. I have no friends. You see, everybody left. It's funny. The reason I'm talking about trolls is because the last one, when I was doing my witch hunting live, he was like, "Oh, you're boring. That's why nobody's here. I'm out of here." I'm like, "Okay, I don't give a fuck if you leave. I don't give a fuck if you think I'm boring. I don't give a fuck if you don't like anything about me." Some motherfucker was saying, "Why do you have a hat indoors? Why do you have a winter hat indoors? Because it's winter, nigga." These niggas are fucking weird, man. No, I'm the weirdo, right? Anyways, see some people in. What do you guys have to say? There's three people here. That's how you start a new universe with three, right? There's the duality, right? Black and white. But the three is the sun. The third is the sun. That's how you create a universe. That's a key right there. You motherfuckers might think I'm just talking bullshit. But once you understand that, now we have the zero people. Zero is the unlimited potential. Everything came from the zero, and now we have one. One is the manifestation of the zero. So you created something out of nothing, the alpha and omega. But we always go into a state from zero to one. We're always creating and coming back to zero, creating, coming back to zero. That's when we go to sleep every night, right? Or you niggas go to sleep. I try not to go to sleep. That's how everything is related together. The sleep is the cousin of death. Why? Because it's like a mini sleep. So every time you sleep, you're actually dying. If you think it from that standpoint, you're actually going to have a better sleep. Even though I say don't sleep, but motherfuckers don't understand when I say that. They think like, well, you need sleep. Well, you've been indoctrinated to believe that you need sleep. So you think it's needed. You could rest your body while being conscious. Well, let me rephrase this. You can put your body to sleep, but as long as you stay conscious here, it's fine. That's how people meditate, right? Or rather, the people that meditate need to sleep less. So should you not sleep? So, I'm gonna answer that question. Shinkai 1000. Here's the thing: if you are too tired, here's the thing about sleep, right? Your body needs rest. The thing that I'm saying is like you don't have to go unconscious, right? You could have your body resting and have your mind be doing something else in another plane of existence. No, but this is what I'm saying. Your body needs rest to repair itself. But you could, right now I'm resting. So my body is resting right now, but I'm awake. And you could go to a deeper level where you could rest your body like this, but you're like in another plane thinking about something else or visiting realms and shit like that without drugs. Because obviously you could do drugs, DMT, and psychedelics and do it actively, But not everybody has drugs, right? How do you think motherfuckers knew what the drugs were gonna do? They already went into the dream world and did that. But yeah, if you think you need sleep, then you're gonna need sleep all the time. And then what happens is when your body goes to sleep, your consciousness goes to sleep, and then somebody else is playing with your astral body. This is why you get nightmares and shit like that. Yo, I'm feeling tired right now. Hope the stream becomes funny. And this is not about fun. My streams are not about fun and better. My streams are about talking about what I want to talk about and telling people about that because I believe it's important. If you don't like it, you could just go to sleep. If you want to get entertained, you can go to Kaizenat or whatever, all the other streamers. I'm not trying to entertain motherfuckers here. I'm not an entertainer. I do this for the love of the game. You know what I'm saying? If I want to, I mean, I make videos that are entertaining if you want to watch them, but it's like, I was just saying, you could just watch another live stream. Because to me, the whole point of live streaming is to connect with the people. So if people came in here, and you know what you can call me? Nothing. Because I'm nothing right now. I'm just going to hide you from the people. The UFC is full of black magicians and people that like to play with other men. And it's also just like it's like not wrestling. It's like the WWE. They want to fool you thinking it's martial arts. But once you unlock the spirit, you're gonna realize that all that shit they're just playing around. Because think about this shit. If you the only way that the UFC works is if you know the martial arts that they're doing. You understand what I'm saying? It's like a choreograph. And I learned this when I was doing jiu-jitsu. And somebody was trying to like understand why they couldn't do a move on me. And then the instructor was like, "Oh, well, do this." And then all of a sudden, he was able to, how do I say it? To get over on me, and get me to submit. And then I was like, man, that shit is that simple because this nigga know all the moves. If you just tell me all the moves, then we're just gonna be in a stalemate, right? So it's just like choreograph shit. A real fighting is not about you're gonna do this move. It's about war. There's no such thing as like, oh, I'm gonna fucking do this and do that. And I'm like, no, that's fake shit. So no, I don't have anybody win. I don't give a fuck about them. I don't give a fuck who wins or who loses. We all losing if we're watching this. Unless if I'm fighting. If I'm fighting, somebody's gonna die. I'm not gonna go there to play. I'm going there with my spirit to put my life on the line. That's what real fighting is about. That's why I think the backyard brawls and whatever are better than the bullshit. And actually, anything that's regulated already loses the sport of war or fighting, because fighting is really unpredictable. And if you actually been in an actual engagement of people trying to hurt you, you're gonna realize that all that shit goes out the window the moment real danger is introduced. This is what I'm trying to say, that shit is choreographed. Because they know, okay, this person can only do a certain limited moves. He can only hit me here, here, here. If he does something foul, that's why they have fouls, right? If you hit somebody in the nuts, it's a timeout. You hit somebody here, there's a timeout. This is why the Bones guy, right? I don't even want to say his name. Everybody hates him because he actually understands what fighting is about. That's why nobody can beat him. He's trying to fucking kill you there. He's not trying to fucking do the rules and like, oh, I want to be. No, he wants to murder you. That's why nobody can beat him. And that's why the last fucking guy, what was the nigga? His name, fucking, the last heavyweight, he got punched in the eye. Fucking the British guy. He was like, I can't continue. But, Cyril Gahn hit me in the eye. Motherfucker, you're in a fucking war. You're a fucking heavyweight. You're gonna fucking worry about a fucking poke in the eye? Fucking Michael Bisping was fighting with one eye all the time. He didn't fucking complain. You see what I'm saying? These motherfuckers. The moment you do something they're not expecting, now everything goes out the window. But when you're not sticking to the script, everything's out the window. That's not real fighting. If somebody comes up with a knife, you're already scared, right? What you gonna do when somebody comes out with a gun? Let's say in a UFC fight. You see that you're a spiritual person. Oh, sorry, I didn't see the comments. I was so into just talking bullshit. I'm not shaking anybody out. Are you a spiritual person? Everybody's spiritual. We're all spiritual. So let me talk about the Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua because that's actually spiritual. Look what happened to Anthony Joshua after the fight. Nobody survives a Jake Paul fight, even if you win. The only time that they survived was with Tommy Fury because Tommy Fury is also a magician like Jake, so it cancels each other out. But when Anthony Joshua fought him and won, a week later, now he's in an accident and somebody dies. It's a fucking ritual. And now fucking Anthony Joshua's retired. That's all you gotta know about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Let me see somebody else. Hermano, what's up? Tommy needs to return. McGregor need to return. Nah, elaborate. Black Magic in UFC, please elaborate. I just elaborated. You have to understand fighting in itself is spiritual. Everything is spiritual, but like for some reason they have you believing that this shit is just about fighting, it's a sport. It goes deeper than that. It's like a clan. It's like a they're extracting energy from the crowd, from everybody. That's why Ngannou, when he fought Anthony Joshua, he was saying that, oh, I just didn't feel like myself. I felt like needed to fall asleep. Like, cause motherfuckers were doing voodoo on him. Everybody left fight. So I'm gonna just stay for 3 more minutes to complete the 25, and then I'm out. If nobody's here. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I don't know. This shit tells me that people leave all the time. So I don't know. Aunt Esther, what's up? What's up, Auntie? I thought you would be sleeping by now. What was I saying? What was I talking about? Talking about the UFC and shit. How it's black magic. I've been here. I'm always here. The realm has my body located in this dimension for now, so I'm kind of stuck. Every time I try to leave, they try to do something to it. I don't have enough power to leave yet. I don't have enough power to leave. You guys know that, right? Like every time you try to astral project and get out of here, somebody's out there to stop you. You guys didn't know that? If not, everybody will be doing shit in the astral. When you're a kid, they try to take your powers away and make you believe in this realm. It's all a distortion. And most of the time, it's our own fault because we don't know shit. So we get caught up in other people's business, and then we family that we don't care about. This is how we incur karma. But if you remember when you were a kid, doing all this other shit, going in different dimensions, flying around and shit, I don't think everybody's spiritual and it's such a spiritual person was. You see, this is the thing that I'm trying to explain. This spirituality has nothing to do with what you think it is, because spirit is just everything is powered by the spirit. This existence would not be working without spirituality. So whether you think spirituality is real or somebody's not doing it, it doesn't matter. It's still going. The thing that you're talking about is the people that are not realizing that, right? They're not openly. They're not openly saying, "I know that there's a higher power" or whatever. Whether you know it or not, it's there because you're spiritual. As the same, I was an atheist. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The atheist just doesn't understand. You see, every time you encounter atheists, they use their human brain cannot comprehend the incomprehensible. That's what the spirit is. There is Jay Rice say we can do appropriation whenever we want as long as we continue to drive. Yeah, yeah, because you build. So what happens is you build up energy. A lot of us don't have a lot of energy because we waste it on this realm. This is the purpose of meditation and fasting and all that. So this is why people withdraw from Facebook or not Facebook, with internet in general. Because every time, like right now, I'm doing this live, I'm wasting my energy powering you guys up and me. Because if I wasn't talking, my reality wouldn't exist with you guys. You understand what I'm saying? Like every time I'm online in this realm, I'm online on the earth. So I'm putting energy, conscious energy. And this realm takes a lot of energy. The subtle planes or the astral planes don't actually take that much energy, but we waste it here. And then what happens is we get so used to physical things like moving our hands like this that we don't know that we can move astrally with our mind. That's what happens when you're in the dream. And I was just talking about this. Why you need to stop sleeping, because the more you sleep, your consciousness go to sleep. And let me just take this shit off my mouth. Pause. Your consciousness. Oh, now it's way better. Your consciousness goes to sleep when you go to sleep. But if you stay conscious, you can train yourself how to move in the astral, because you need to move through with your mind. This is why you ever had a dream and then you punch and you're slow. You can't ever punch people in your dream because you're trying to move your body and your body's already resting. Your body can't move, but you can. If you knew, like, oh shit, I'm in a dream. Let me move with my mind. Then you'll hit them. Isn't that metaphysics? What the dreams? I'm so glad that they had that comment. Somebody made a comment. You guys want to hear it? No, I'm not gonna read it. It was by Michael DeFanta, but it was hidden because you see, this is what we have. This is why we have moderation here, because we don't want trolls talking about bullshit in this shit. Let me just hide this nigga from the channel. Anyways, what do you think? What are you saying is in metaphysics? Can you explain? Because I was talking about a lot of stuff. But yeah, Patrick, uh, if you try long enough, because you know what happens when you try long enough, you basically putting your awareness outside here. Because you could, I tell people you could brute force your way to an astral projection. If you just stay in your bed all day, well, you don't want to do it for more than 2 hours, so you're gonna burn yourself out. But like, let's say you go to sleep, and for 5 hours, 6 hours, whatever, and then you wake up, and then you say, okay, I'm gonna astral project. Give yourself like an hour and a half or 2 hours, and just stay there. But try to keep your mind awake, because sometimes you'll fall asleep again, and then come back like, you know, you have to stay aware, and then you're gonna have the vibrations and all that shit, because you're accessing that part of your body, and then eventually you'll pop out. But astral projection is not as, I mean, it should be easy, but it's like, because we don't even know that we could do that, and a lot of the times there's people there. You see, they wanna make it seem like it's all your fault. Like, no, you creating all these shadows and shit. Yes, sometimes you are creating shadows, but a lot of the times there's people out there, like their neighbors and shit like that, that are, that know that you're trying to get out, because they're gatekeepers, right? They don't want you to leave this realm, because if you leave, if everybody was awake, their reality wouldn't exist. This reality wouldn't exist, because it's predicated on people being asleep. That's why they have you just watch the movie The Matrix. All these movies are telling you: Inception, The Matrix, Interstellar, even The Martian. They're all telling you this shit. In metafiction, we question reality, the nature, and existence, and your views are somewhat similar to that stuff. Yeah, but I try to tie. I don't want to put labels, because at the end of the day, this is who we are. You could call it metaphysics, right? But this is we're multidimensional beings. But in this realm, we're limited to think that, oh, there's just physicality. They wanna make you think it's separate. They want you to think that you're physical and then there's God that's separate. And all this shit is happening right now. The astral, we astral projecting right now. The only thing is that our awareness is in the physical body. But in your body, you have like seven bodies, or that's what the Hindus say, right? Like there's the physical body, there's the etheric body, there's the astral body, there's the mental body, there's the causal body, there's the Buddha body, or the Buddhic body, or the light body. That's what you use to travel, because a lot of people use their astral body to travel, and then get caught up in all bullshit. But once you acquire the body of light, you can bilocate yourself. You can be here, and then your body could be somewhere else, or actually projecting somewhere else. You could be at multiple places at the same time. The closest I got so far was sleep paralysis and vibration state when I tried. Yeah, that's what happens a lot of time. You got to keep trying. Sleep paralysis is when you have sleep paralysis, a lot of the times it's like you have awareness. You got awareness, like, oh shit, but you forget that your body is asleep, and you try to move your body, so you think you really, obviously your body is going to be paralyzed, but your astral body is not paralyzed. Or you have, this is why they have the roll method. Like every time you have sleep paralysis, you try to roll out like this, and then you pop out, and then you start floating around. Do you see God or the divine as something outside of us that we connect to, or as the very ground of our being, already one with us? Well, you answer your question. You will find non-duality or right of it that very interesting. This is all we are. You just put in labels on things. Just take the labels out and enjoy it. You understand what I'm saying? Because what I realized, all these other people or gurus or shit like that, they're just showing you from their perspective or their lens the unlimited. Because the unlimited, it's like I always talk about the rainbow all the time. The rainbow comes from the sun, right? But it refracts into seven different colors. And the seven different colors are an allegory to the different religions and everything else in the universe. Because this one light got refracted into different things. And that's what we're doing. We're emanations of the phoenix, or AKA the unlimited. But that's how the numbers came about, right? You have the zero, which is the potential for everything. And then you have number one, two, and then three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, and then you create from that shit on. Yeah, you should read more about. I don't need to read about that. I just connect. That's all I don't. What you're talking about, they just connected to that and telling you from their perspective. When you learn how to connect, you'll create your own books and shit. There are seven colors in our perception, but who say that there are seven colors? There are seven colors. I'm talking about the rainbow. The rainbow, there's seven colors. There's seven chakras. There's seven lords. It's literally embedded in us, the colors. It's in the Power Rangers. The Power Rangers, this is why I started watching the Power Rangers a couple days ago, because it reminded me of my childhood. The Power Rangers, they're actual light codes. I know they're making movies and shit like that, but you could be a Power Ranger based on a color that you wear. This nigga is talking about something else. He doesn't get the point. Anyways, like let's say the Blue Ranger, right? I can invoke the Blue Ranger's energy with this blue durag. Because all you're doing is utilizing the color as a symbol to manifest energies. And actually, you don't even need to use, you could use anything. You could use any symbol. This is why they create hieroglyphs. So it's easier, instead of like having a whole data book or book of information, you could put the information in a symbol. And then you think about the symbol and the information should be there. But in this realm, we're mechanically learn shit like, oh, I have to remember this word or this book, so I have to read the book over and over and over again. Yeah. Does that make sense? Well, he's talking about 100,000 colors that the bee sees, but that's a different perception. That's the same thing with everything. I get it. See, I love the ring. I don't know. I think are you guys into like there was two people talking about Baita Vedanta. I think my consumption of caffeine and nicotine is making it harder to stay awake to astral project. Nigga, I take caffeine and nicotine. That shit is helping you. So here's the thing about nicotine and caffeine. Let me talk about this shit. What is nicotine and what is caffeine? That is just energy. So if you're taking nicotine and caffeine, your consciousness is going not your consciousness, but you're gonna be too grounded into this realm with the caffeine. The nicotine is fine. If you take just nicotine, because you could actually just go to sleep after the nicotine because it's gonna relax you. But the nicotine is also used to ground yourself, aka you like when people are doing ayahuasca, they usually smoke the shamans, or they put like tobacco and shit like that to so they don't go too far out. It's like a ground. Yeah, I'm homeless. Everybody's homeless because we lost our inner home. We pretending that these houses that we live in, these square boxes, are our home, but in reality, our home is within us. So you're saying that spirituality is something you can learn from a book or from a person? Exactly. Once you understand what I'm saying, you're gonna stop reading books. It's like Samael Aun said, you can learn more doing mantras and shit for an hour than you will do reading any books. The books are just for the people that can't access their mind. They have to mechanically read a book to get information. They can't connect with their inner self or their or source. So what happens is you're gonna fall in love with reading books that you're just gonna be masturbating your mind. You're not gonna learn shit, and you're gonna think, oh well, I have to do this and this and that. This is us. Books are people's opinion. Yeah, yeah, it's an opinion based on their perspective. That's why you have to take the books with a grain of salt. You know how many books I read because my mind was looking for shit, but then I would do a shroom or something, and then I would understand everything, and then I would be creating my own shit. But you can't learn chant mantras without a book. The mantras, you see, you're taking too literally. The mantras are used to get your perception out of this physical reality. It could be anything. You could be like, blah, 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 blah. I just disconnected from this reality. You just need to do anything that's disconnected from this reality so you can access other realities. That's really what the mantras are for. Because the senses, our physical senses, take a lot of our energy. So when you're focusing on a mantra, you're focusing on one thing. This is what the the meditations about, like envision, like think about nothing, or focus on the breath. When you focus on the breath, you're focusing on one thing only. And then eventually what's gonna happen is you're gonna become the breath. And then you're just gonna fly away somewhere. Because your perception is not gonna be in this realm. Because there's a lot of distractions in this realm. Does that make sense? And that's why he's asking if I'm homeless, because he's thinking about this realm. Only in this realm we think about homeless people. There are no homeless people here. Does fasting help with astral projection in your spirit? How long before it helps? Let me let me think about this shit. You gotta. I'm gonna be honest with you. You gotta forget about astral projection. In my opinion. In my opinion, you're wasting your time. But that's just me. Because astral projection is a slippery slope. Because you're thinking that you what you're doing is you're making something that is already who you are into something separate, and then getting frustrated when you can't do it. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of individuals, a lot of entities want you to think, oh yeah, astral projecting shit. So when you're trying, they're trying to fuck with you and shit. With fasting, it's good for everything because fasting takes you out of this reality and you realize, oh, I don't need to astral project because I'm already astral projecting all the time. Fasting is, so what Thoth says about food, food is the death of the soul. But really what's happening is the food reinforces this physical reality. The more you eat a specific type of food, the more you're gonna see different type of people, or not different, the same type of people, the same thing, right? Because it reinforces like, okay, I eat this food at 3 p.m. and then I do this, and then every day it's like a clock that your body's gonna remember, we're gonna eat this food and then we're gonna do this. The moment you say, we're not gonna eat anything, your body's gonna freak out. But eventually it's gonna realize, oh shit, I really don't need to eat a lot because I have a lot of fat reserves. So your body's gonna start burning fat and creating ketones. And the ketones are gonna go to your brain and give you more information, more light. So this is why I'm saying you don't need to read books. But the moment you start fasting and start producing these ketones, you're gonna burn a lot of your earth, earthly essence body and start incorporating more light into your body. And I'm not saying you gotta fast all the time and you can't eat food, but I'm saying like what fasting is. I gotta, because I wasn't prepared to talk about this, but fasting kind of helps you clear a lot of the shit. Not only the shit that you eat, but a lot of the shit that you think. This is why you have a clear head when you fast, right? Because a lot of the fog, mental fog that we have and we can focus in shit is because we have a lot of thought forms that are embedded or imbued in the food. That's why it's the death of the soul. Because I mean, it's good if you want to do a specific. Let's say you want to be a baseball player. I always give this example. If you want to be a baseball player, you gotta get in the frequency of a baseball player, right? The best baseball players are from the Dominican Republic, and what do? They eat plantains. So you get that plátano power, right? So if you want to become a baseball player, you're gonna eat plantain all the time because baseball is something physical. But if you're trying to get the fuck out of the physical realm, you gotta stop eating food. And the same thing if you want to be, uh, let me not talk about, like, let's say some people from Asia, right? They eat a lot of rice. If you want to learn, like I say, I eat rice because it helps me learn Chinese, right? But I'm getting in the frequency of the people that speak that language. I want to immerse myself in that culture, so I gotta eat their food. And then the moment I start doing that, I start seeing more of those people. No, I know you're laughing, but I'm being so serious. Like you have to get in the mentality. What do these people eat? Okay, they eat with chopsticks. They eat rice. A lot of times they eat a lot of soups. They eat a lot of warm things. They eat teas. They drink teas. So I can't go to China, but I can immerse myself in the culture, and that's going to help me with the language. Anyway, anywho, or I could listen to a lot of videos about Chinese. Bro, you look like the. No, I don't. I don't look like anybody you know, George. Sorry. Stop talking about other people here. I'm a semi truck driver. I do fasting. I haven't tried to astral project a whole lot. You're trying to figure out better ways to make it more likely. Well, it depends. What do you really want? Why do you want to astral project? Just to, I mean, you could do it. I'm not saying, but be honest with yourself and realize that. All right, let me just hide this person because I don't want to talk. We should stick to the topic. Hold on. Let me charge my phone quick so this shit doesn't. We're connected here. Connection. You see, I was talking about trolling, and those are trolls. Because why are we talking about my appearance here? Who gives a shit what I look like? I could fucking be, look, I could be this right now. As long as I'm giving you the information that you want, it doesn't matter what I look like. But you're gonna have these trolls coming out and test your awareness. The moment I start paying attention to them, I'm going to the realm. And you talk about astral projection, right? The trolls know how to astral project, because this is why they troll you. Because the more you give them attention, the more you go into the realm, and then when you go to sleep, they take your soul, and then you wonder, why can't I astral project? Well, you just gave your attention to a motherfucking demon. These demons, these devils, are the devils out there. But what I'm trying to say is forget about labels and forget about astral project and focus on your inner self and yourself. And then you're gonna see most of this shit is gonna become more easy. No, you don't have to pay me to shut up. Okay. Actually, let me just hide this user. Anybody that's I don't want to be mean to people. I don't care what people say most of the time, but like, I have to hide these trolls because I don't have a moderator. Great advice, bro. Nah, I mean, I really hope that I don't even know why I do this because sometimes I really want to say something to people, But I don't want to. I'm not trying to force people into believe what I say. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not trying to force people to believe what I say. I just want people to have my perspective and then create their own perspective. So if everybody has their own perspective, this universe will be not this universe. This world will be better, but the world is not gonna get better. You can't fix the world, so fix yourself and get the fuck out of here, or at least try to disconnect from here so you have more energy to do that to deal with these heathens and these devils. Oh, the devil works hard, but I work harder. Because once you understand what I'm talking about, this world is gonna get so small that you're gonna be they talk about giants in the Bible and shit like that. What they're talking about is people that have their consciousness so big that they see everybody small. It's not like literal giants. You understand what I'm saying? They're not talking about like a little. I mean, some of them were big, but think about this. Shut up, Blackie. Oh my God, he said Blackie. Let me act offended. Oh, the error. Anyways, there's no such thing as racist. I don't give a fuck about these niggas. I deleted that programming that says I need to be offended by people saying black or nigger. Like I don't give a fuck. Look, say it. I used to love even when I was like on the lower consciousness. I used to love when the white friends I had would say the N word. I would say say I don't give a fuck, nigga. I call you nigga all the time. You could call me nigga. And then when they say I was smack, nah, you say, why would you say nah? It's a fucking word. You see what I'm saying? You remove all these perceptions from your reality. You're gonna be having a nice time. That goes for everything. Even with women, a lot of women want to get offended when people say, "Oh, you have a fat ass." Oh, if that ass is fat, girl, we'll fucking be. Let me stop. If that ass is fat. Who gives a shit? But what I'm trying to say is that a lot of this stuff that people try to say to quote unquote hurt you is trolling too, and they don't even want to say it because they want to say it. They've been programmed to say this because they have an agenda to get certain people. It's not just about me. It's not just about black people. It's about anybody. Like what the troll has is like a Pokedex of information of common things that people are subscribed to. So if you respond to like a negative or like a racist word, they know that you're of the lower consciousness, and they did their job. If you don't respond, they'll try even harder to get you down because that's how they keep you in this realm. So let's go back to astral projection, right? The reason why you can't astral project is because you think there's in the Egyptians. So some of them watch it. They don't give a fuck. Girls don't give a fuck about shit like that. They you see, women are the best trolls because they want to see your reaction. If you are of this realm, they're gonna act like, let me test this guy. They don't give a fuck. Okay, what was I saying? Astral projection. I kind of forgot. Even I get distracted by these niggas talking about random shit. And I'm trying not to like police the chat too much because I don't mind if you guys talk, but it's like, anyways, this went for longer than I thought. Yesterday I was like under a spell or something because my shit wasn't getting views like anything. Anyways, I don't care. I don't know why people care so much about people's. You are. Oh, thank you. Yeah, more people I can hide. Okay, you good? Was good. You see people calling you shit. Another time, I'm gonna explain something to you why they actually call your name. Some of the times people are calling you shit is because they're in the astral and they want to turn you into a specific. So somebody just called me a girl, right? If I was like sleeping and they will be commenting on this shit astrally, if I wasn't paying attention, I would just turn into a woman. Because you could do that. If you're in the astral and you have power, you could just say, turn into this. So that's what you said, low what? What the fuck are these niggas talking about now? There's D1 haters. I don't give a fuck about them. It's funny because sometimes because the haters control YouTube too. Sometimes they make it so I don't get any views or nothing. Nobody watches this but them. And sometimes they're even watching, even though it says there's nobody watching. That's why I can't. I don't like to take this shit seriously because at any moment they could take this shit away. Because they give you a couple. You know, they already try to do shit like that with me. That's how they get all these big YouTubers. They get them to live their life through this shit. So one day they get canceled and they're making apology videos. I'm sorry for what I said. Please, I just need the YouTube back because this is my life. But if they take YouTube out, I'm just gonna beat my meat. Trinity, you need a husband. You don't need a man. You just need yourself. I love being ahead of the pace now. Hey man, if you want to be in that continent, that's fine. There's nothing. I mean, this is what we came here to do whatever we want to do. What the fuck you mean? I'm just saying, like, I'm not gonna be pressed if YouTube wants to delete my shit. Like, what do I care about this shit? This is just a good way to connect with people, but at the same time, there's a lot of fucking trolls, anyways. What's wrong with these people? You'll be surprised. There's a lot more that their messages are hitting. Like, I don't really understand it. Like, ever since I've been alive, I don't really understand why somebody will get out of their way to go to somebody's, not even go to somebody's life. Even like when we were kids, right? And somebody trying to call you a name, I'm like, wait, why are they trying to like insult people? Like, I don't get it. Because you know, when you're naive, when you're innocent, you're wondering why people act this way. You said you have 8 people, okay, then just leave. It doesn't matter. Like this is exactly what I'm talking about. Who gives a shit? I don't give a shit if there's 0 people watching. I don't give a fuck if you should. You know how many videos I have that nobody watches? I talk by myself all the time at home. I don't give a fuck if nobody. Even if they're not watching here physically, in another plane of existence, I'm teaching people. Like I don't think they really understand. I don't really give a fuck. I'm not trying to do this to be rich. I really hope I die one day and I don't have to wake up anymore. And no, I'm not suicidal. Don't call the cops. I don't believe in this realm. You know, I don't. You understand? I don't believe in this realm, guys. Like, you're not gonna fucking get me. But the reason why they keep trying is because we all have a shadow side. The shadow wants to stay here. Why fame? No, I'm just saying in general. Like, you know, most people that do YouTube, they want to be famous and shit like that. And we all have that side of us that says, you know, we want recognition. But what I want is something much more than that. I want to go back to what we were before we came to this realm and forgot who we were. Because that's what we're here. We're here to remind, recordar. In Spanish, is recordar, which means resu. You recordar is you're resuing yourself. You're reconnecting. You're reminding yourself who you were. You come here and you fragment yourself and you forget. And then with the experiences, you pick up new things, but then you remember who you are and then you act from that standpoint. And that's the point to learn. Yeah. So we're here to learn, do whatever we want. The only thing that this realm does is like pushes you. It forces you to have a limited mind, a square. This is why Roddy Rich wrote the box. He's still in the box. You ever see that video? He's inside a box. And he's trying to get out of the box. I'ma get lazy. And he's in that box being lazy because that's what we are. We're in this box of thoughts we can't get out. That's what boxing is. You're in a square circle is what they call it, right? Boxing your way out of life. That's what the mind is doing. We're inside a circle, boxing somebody else to get out. If not, if not, then what is free will? It teaches you, brother. Circles and square. Use the circles to get out of the box. Oh, shit! I almost got myself with this shit. Oh, who's sending me subconscious signals to use this to hurt myself? Look at this. You see that light? Look at that. That's what we need to go back to, that light. You see that light? You might think it's just it's actually the reflection of the light hitting the glass and refracting into blah blah blah. I know, but it's like, look at this. Comfort son of your mind. Yeah. And again, somebody was saying like you're not important. It's only 8 people. It's actually 3 people just watching. It's actually less than that. But it's not about me being important. Like I don't think I'm important. It's not about me being important. It's just about connecting with people and expanding our mind instead of thinking about booty all the time. And I think about all these lower because I was raised in this consciousness, so I think about booty. I think about shit like this and that. But we can always let's take at least 10 minutes to expand our mind. Just 10 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be a fucking hour. Start slow, right? Even 1 minute a day. Okay, 1 minute. I'm just gonna think about something that doesn't have anything to do with this reality, so that my mind can get some training instead of just being in this box again. I just put the hit on the box or whatever it is. See, even that song, it just keeps lulling you back to that. Does that make sense? I'm not a Hebrew. You see, I don't believe in that. Are you religious? Just wondering. I keep talking about religion, right? Religion. Let me explain religion because you might not hear me say this. Well, even the religion people tell you this. Religion comes from the word religare. I think it's Latin. I forget where I heard this, which means to bind. So their religion originally was to kind of like contain. This is the way I see it. That's not what they say. But what I say is the religion was used to bind your energy because you're an unlimited being in this limited body. So you're using that religion to bind these different energies into different symbols, like a cross or a color. So when you access these symbols, you're imbuing energy in the symbols because otherwise you wouldn't able to manage all these energies in here. But what happens is people use religion as a way to control people, and they're actually binding you into thinking a certain way. Cup of lines. There's a lot of monkeys that stream. A monkey has more. There's a monkey with no with one arm that has more views than you could ever gather in your life because they're just being themselves. I forget the type of monkey it is. You see, this is another troll. Like they use the word monkey because somehow he's like Frieza, right? Calling the Saiyans monkey. All you're calling me is a Super Saiyan. When you say call me a monkey, all I have to do is grow my tail and become sour and then become a Super Saiyan 4 and I'll just smack the shit out of you. Well, if you want to conversate with, just make your own videos. I can add people into this life. You gotta do it before you start. This is not like a thing. What is it? In Twitter they have spaces or something where you could add people. You can't add people here because YouTube makes it hard for you to do that. But I'm not opposed to talking to people. I just don't want people to try to force their opinion on me because I'm not trying to force you guys to think about what I think. I want to tell you my perspective, and then you say, okay, how can I use that to find my own perspective? Yeah, I don't want to talk about religion because I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in anything. It's just a fucking layer. AMA or Twitter space. Ask me anything. Isn't that Reddit AMA? Oh shit. Let me put this shit over here. It's distracting me. What you be discussing, Uncle? Everything. I talk about a little about everything. Yeah, but I think when I see people talking about religion all the time, I feel like that's a slippery slope, and some of them are agents. Because why the fuck are you talking about religion? I don't like to talk about religions that much because I want people to understand that we don't need the religion. That time there was a time and place for that. You know, the religions at the beginning when the Egyptians came in and did the pyramids and all that, they came in literally the gods, what we used to call gods. They came in and walked among us to teach us shit. But what happens is they got too comfortable with gods running among, they didn't develop their own fucking powers. So that's why you don't see gods all around walking among us because they're trying to make us get our own shit. This is why we can't.
The moment you crush into the religion, you find a book. Oh, I gotta read the fucking Psalm 27, or I gotta fucking do my Hail Marys, and you have forgotten your power. There was a time and place for you to do that because you have to program yourself to imbue those energies into those mantras or prayers. But there's gonna be a time where you don't need to do the prayers anymore. You can just tap into that. I mean, you can have multiple people to have discussion with you there. Yeah. I tried to make an Instagram and they didn't even let me. And then I make a Twitter. I don't even like X anymore because you have to pay money for that shit. It's so weird now. How about we discuss that there's no. This is interesting, man. You know what I realized? It's like people come in lives. They don't even. They don't even want to hear me talk. They just want to put their. It's like a ego dick measuring contest. They just want to put their opinion there to measure their own ego. You know what I'm saying? I just put the hit. Okay, just go find somebody else to talk to. I can't have a conversation right now. I can't add people to this. Sorry. I guess I'm just hearing myself talk right now. Every time we go platforms and talking shit, it always turn into like an argument because there was always some agent there. I remember I used to this app Hello Talk, and I would just it would be a random talk about nothing. Then we can become these people from like other religions, and they will always bring religion in a platform that you're not supposed to talk about religion because it's just supposed to be about language exchange. Why would I listen to my past self when I have learned from that mistake? We can only learn from our own. Exactly, yeah. I'm not in any county. I'm in my own universe. That shit doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what country you're in. It depends on what's in your mind. Whatever. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. What is this shit right here? Oops. There we go. Now I wasn't trying to do anything. It's just that I was trying to click this shit. All right. I guess 62 minutes. I don't want to keep you guys here all the time. Maybe 8 more minutes and I'm out. Let me see who else is here. Listen when you speak is a well statement. And just leave. It's fine. I'm not forcing you to be here. You see, people just because of that. Mm. I noticed that a lot of these lives they're rooted into black magic. Almost all of them. You can't escape it. People can't use live stream. There's always something behind it. If I told you what I seen, what my eyes have shown me, you guys don't even believe it. This is what I do in the morning. The purpose of the video is to come on a argument which is good for all, but this egotistic people go. You know what I mean? You see, we got more people talking bullshit. You know, a lot of the time, these trolls they really want a reaction because with the reaction, what they do is in the astral realm, extract energy from you. So they will say things to keep the momentum of this reality going. So again, once you start meditating, getting the fuck out of this dimension, you'll be. Oof. That's what they hate this channel. And that's the saddest part to me is that people do this. It's like I don't even know what their goal is. It's like I don't know if they're being controlled sometimes or they just don't understand who we are that they will do shit like this to talk about bullshit like this person was saying. But they haven't they know what they're doing. Again, once you connect to something outside of this realm, you realize all this shit. Sometimes it's not just trolling for fun. It's like they have an agenda, like literally like a militia of an army of motherfuckers out there. And all they do it is like the way they do it is like it's like strategically they do it this they do like little shit that will add up in increments. Right? They're not trying to take you out with one blow. They're trying to like slowly chink the armor until they can get in. Does that make sense? Like a consistent, it's like having that itch that you can't scratch. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you could fall victim to that shit. You know, gang stalking and shit like that. Because they do that shit to me all the time. But of course, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're paranoid." When I have a literal video of somebody doing that on my channel, and it's funny, because what gang stalking is somebody in the astral that you're materializing into the physical because you have a higher awareness. This is go back to the life that I made about hunting witches. Once you raise your awareness, all the witches are gonna be visible. You won't have to hunt them. They're always they're always here. They're everywhere. You know what else people do to hunt you? To no, not with hunt you, but like they, let's say you like a specific song, they will play that song and learn it and control you to that song. So you know they say that music has like subliminal messages. A lot of the time, it's not that the music itself has subliminal message. It's that somebody's traveling to the song while you listen to it. You can hear the fucking shit that they're doing once you have a higher awareness. It's like somebody's in this fucking song right now. But of course, this might not make sense to you guys because you think, oh, nobody can travel through a song. It's a portal. Everything you could be used for portals, mirrors, music, you know, water. But again, it's not in the physical plane you're doing this. You're doing it in quote unquote astral plane or the non-physical plane. That's why when you astral project, a lot of times you feel like you're drowning because now your body is going into the another state, and then from there you can go to different places. And this is how people could live in Atlantis underwater. Those motherfuckers are not dead. This is how people live on the fucking sun. There's people living on the sun, and you guys are gonna think I'm crazy now. There's people living in the sun because it's just a different frequency that you can't access because your body is too earthy and it's gonna get burned. But they have a body of light, and they get powered by that. That's what you mean by being a giant. That's what Bibles talk about being a giant. You're a giant because your consciousness is big enough to just go to the different realms. Yeah, go do what you have to do. It's all good. You don't have to explain it. We'll be here. I'm always here. I'm always watching. I'm about to leave in 2 minutes because I don't think 70 minutes is good enough for YouTube. The next time I'm on, I'm probably gonna be like 2 weeks from now. I gotta get ready with every time I do a live stream. I gotta I gotta handle some energetic business. I gotta recharge myself. But thank you for watching. Everybody that watched, thank you for joining. Even the haters, I know you guys love me. Otherwise, you wouldn't be wasting your time with me. Cause I don't talk to people I don't like. So I know you niggas love me. Okay. Everybody left. Okay. All right. What is love? There's 4 people here. All right, that's it. All right, thank you. I'm out. Boop, 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 boop.